if you were to be on a journey and you see a mountain in front of you and you know you have to climb over that mountain, or you know you have to get past that mountain's going to look huge. But if you have several other people with you, physically, that to your eyeballs, that mountain will look smaller. I thought the other day, tell me what you think about this, Rob. I'm no economist, man. I'm no financial advisor. I'm no, I'm not necessarily a, licensed financial professional, man. But just think about just the concept of inflation for 1 second, man. Mm-hmm. We're dealing with a whole bunch of inflation right now. I know that inflation was on paper 8% recently, and I think it's much higher than that. Off paper, and I think it's actually higher than that on paper, actually. I haven't checked it recently. But when inflation happens, you know what inflation is. Inflation is basically when your dollar loses value, right? Mm-hmm. And that happens through, the government or whatever. One of the ways it happens is the government will print money. So they put more money into circulation, therefore the money that you have is worth less, right? It's the equivalent to them taking money out of your bank account, right?
Yeah.
You got $100 in your bank account, all of a sudden that $100 is only worth $97 because they went ahead and printed money and gave it to somebody else, right? Mm-hmm. Put it into the circulation, right? But what does inflation help? Right? What does inflation actually, I don't want to say help, but what happens during inflation is you own a house that's $300,000, and as soon as it costs more dollars to buy that because they done it deflated the value of your dollar, right? So now it's going to cost $350 to buy that $300,000 house, right? Mm-hmm. Which means if you have the asset, your asset actually goes up in value. So dollars go down, the assets go up, and I might be talking very basic to the point where people are like, okay, this is something that is so basic. Why is he even talking about it? But now let's factor in, because Rob and I, before the show, we're talking about, we were just talking about COVID. We don't want to mention the C word, but that's what we were just talking about, some of the things that happened over that period of time. It's like, they gave people stimulus checks. Stick with me for a minute. They gave people stimulus checks. I don't even know how much they were. I think they were like $1,400 or something like that, right?
Somewhere in the ballpark.
So they give somebody $1,400 stimulus check to help them out. What are they going to spend that on? What do people spend the $1,400 on?
What they were previously buying.
Which is what?
Food, clothes.
So they buy food, they buy clothes. And so how did they get the $1,400 to begin with? Is they had to print more money.
Yeah.
So they devalued the dollar. They brought the value of the dollar down. Then they gave $1,400 to people, and then they bought what they previously bought with it, which is, you said, food, clothes, probably rent or mortgage, right?
Yeah, bills.
So they fed it into in the bills, basically something that you owe for a service or a product, right? Mm-hmm. So you fed it back into the establishment, right? So, for instance, I own a $300,000 house, and because the value of the dollar has gone down, maybe now it's worth $350, but I'm letting you live in there, right? Mm-hmm. So the government gives you $1,400. They just made my house worth more. And you turn around and give it back to me because I'm your landlord. So at the end of the day, the people who capitalized were the people who own assets. And they capitalized twice. Their assets were worth more. And they gave everybody stimulus checks, and then they filtered that back to the people with assets.
That's what I think they do with the lottery.
What do you mean by that?
By running it up to $1 billion and then, dispersing income checks, tax refunds.
I don't know anything about that. Sounds like a conspiracy theory, Rob. Sounds like a conspiracy theory.
I'm just saying the Powerball gets up to millions and millions.
Sounds like a little bit of a conspiracy theory. What I'm talking about is more of like, this is actually what happens, dude. Like, but they print money, they screw with the money that's already in our bank account. And then the people who need the money, they give it to them, and then they just give it right back to the people with assets.
That's right.
So people just keep accumulating more and more wealth and assets through the whole process of. So the people who are getting the checks feel like, I was being bailed out, I was being helped. Mm-hmm. And maybe there is a net positive to, the money I had is worth less, but I'm getting this money for nothing. But who's really winning is the people that own the assets, man. The people who own the businesses, the corporations, because they're just getting all the money back. The people who own all the rental properties are just getting the money back.
So were the people that was paying for the Powerball that start
Man,
the Powerball.
Come on, Rob.
Where's the money going?
I don't know anything about the state lotto.
I'm just saying it's going right back. You said the people that own it, right? Whoever owns the hot lotto, whoever owns all the gambling, they was getting the money back. You know, man, people was gambling.
It's a state lotto, man.
I'm just saying.
It's a state lotto.
Now you want to get rich faster because everything is stopped. Ain't nobody making no money. So you want to, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing devil's advocate out there for the people that think that the government's taking the money back from, you playing the lotto, getting rich again.
I don't think the government. I'm not saying the government's taking it back. I'm saying that there's some rich dude who's a politician was like, let's just give a bunch of people some money.
Well, yeah,
because then they're gonna spend it back on the stuff that we own, and our stuff is actually gonna go up in value. Your $500,000 house is worth $600,000 all of a sudden.
Yeah, just like if they were to disperse equal amounts of money to the people out, everybody in the world is going back to the people who own the assets, right?
So basically, the moral of the story is you need to buy some assets. Assets is the moral of the story.
Yeah. Do you think that though? Like you said before, they disperse equal amount of money to everybody in the world, it'll end up backing the people who already had the highest.
It's gonna definitely end up backing the people. A lot of the people who are wealthy currently, if they divided all the income in the world evenly, those people are gonna end up being wealthy again because they got the blueprint too. You know what I mean? You burn down my house, that sucks. As long as nobody's in it, I still got the blueprint.
Would you equate that to what you just said?
To a degree, yeah. To a degree, obviously, but I was just more or less just thinking of.
But there's a difference with inflation. Yeah, the dollar amount goes down, but it still boils down to the people who have it first are getting it back.
And really, that actually boils down to lack of financial literacy, how money works.
Bingo.
Lack of people don't know how to save money, but they also don't know how to spend money. They don't know, there's some concepts out there that are very basic that have worked for me, right? Like one of the concepts is to pay yourself first, right? You hear that concept, but a lot of people don't do that. But if you start paying yourself first, you will notice that you have accumulated some money. And so when I earn income, I have percentages of it go into an account. Let's say, so we have brokerage accounts, we have savings accounts, right? And so that stuff goes in there before I even see the money, right? Then that way, you're not spending your money and trying to pay yourself last. Because everybody's going to make adjustments. Everyone's always going to meet their must. They're always going to do the things they have to do. If I sell houses to people, and almost every time they're worried about the mortgage payment. How am I going to pay this mortgage? And then I meet with them again 5 years later, and the mortgage is nothing. They don't even think about it. They never missed a payment in their life. I sold one old lady's house a few years ago.
That's crazy how that works, huh?
It is, man. I sold one old lady's house a few years ago, and she bought it for some low amount of money, like $30,000 or something back in the day. And she said she couldn't believe, or she couldn't imagine paying the mortgage payment on that $30,000 house. She said, me and my husband didn't know how we were going to pay it. You know what I mean? And now it's like your car costs more than that. You know what I mean?
That's crazy, though. There's many houses that are out here. How many people you think had the same thought?
I think everybody has the same thought. It's a process that's scary for people, but, once you kind of reorient, what's the word I'm thinking of, but reorganize, I should say, your expenses, and you figure out how to pay, how to pay stuff on time, you don't even think about it again, man.
Yeah, it's just about planning, delegating, like you said, which money goes where, looking up at the end of the year, seeing how much you've accumulated.
And that's why you carve out yourself first, because you'll figure out how to pay your bills after you paid yourself, right? No, what's going to happen is you're not going to go to fast food as much at the end of the week. I couldn't afford to go to fast food 5 days this week. It's because I paid all my bills, and one of the bills was to rob neighbors, which is yourself. You know what I mean? He came to collect.
So you can't eat after you come see me for a haircut?
After I come see you for a haircut, I can't afford nothing, man. Can't afford nothing, man.
Wow.
Talking about paycheck to paycheck.
Corey,
But you do got the recession-proof shirt on, man, and that's actually how we started this topic, because the beauty industry, the cosmetology industry is recession-proof. It's recession-proof because no matter how bad things are, we still want to look good, man.
All the time.
All the time. It's the same thing as the gym, right? No matter how bad things are, we still need to work out. We still need to look good, right?
We have that. I picked this profession like long term. I mean, I started when I was 11, but one of the reasons that made me stick to it was because one of my thoughts was that a robot cannot replace me. And now we creeping up on AI and GPT. It's like, okay, I'm looking at all these robots.
Chat GPT's like, hold my beer. He's gonna do a fade. It takes Rob like 45 minutes, man. But he's gonna be bust them all 45 seconds. He's just sit there and
that's like the Flowbee. Remember the Flowbee they had?
Oh yeah, man. He goes right into the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. But that was the reason I picked the profession, because I always thought robots couldn't replace us. Not saying that they can, but there's just a touch. There's this field, this artistic ability that I don't think that they can't put that into a robot.
You ain't never seen no AI art?
Not with no clippers.
You ever seen those memes? It's like, give me one of these or give me one of those. Give me this makeup brush, and the dude has the. I mean, that's basically what AI art is, right? You put in the words and the art pops out, man.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, like the koala dunking.
I think AI is coming for all of us, and I think we got to make the decision. Are we going to work with it, or are we going to, let it take us out?
I want to be last. My profession, the hair profession, should be probably the last thing they'd be able to conquer. They'll be able to sell houses without no problem. They'll write the script. They'll send you the listing in your phone. Give you a virtual walkthrough.
But the thing that we both have going for us is we have like a governing authority, right? Because you guys have your board, we have our Department of Commerce. You know what I mean?
We'll all go, bond together and go do some Molotov cocktails at the, at Boston Scientific. No, I just playing. What we gonna do to the robots? Kill him. That's what they're gonna say. They're gonna use my own voice. Like, dang, they took my own soundbite and use it against me.
Yeah, man, we're gonna see it. He's gonna look at you, eyes gonna turn red. He's gonna point.
Kill him. Man, how long before the robots are gonna be recession proof? What's after the robots? Anything?
After the robots? Do you think the robots are going to make robots?
Kill him. after AI. I mean, what's after them?
What's after artificial intelligence?
Yeah.
I think that's it, man.
You sure?
You think they're going to, I mean, what else could there be?
I mean, they're already making them look like us and move like us.
You talking about, the AI eventually is going to have a physical form, man.
I've seen them make a physical form.
Yeah, no, man.
I seen one of Trump. They just took the back of the brain off and had him sitting there like he was taking photos in the suit and everything.
So it was like a robot or something?
Yeah, it was actual. They had the whole body of Trump in a suit, and the lady took the brain. It was carved off like an L. She took the back of the brain out, and you can see inside the.
Are you serious, bro?
I'm gonna find.
I don't know, man.
It was crazy, and he had him sitting there doing this like. It's like, what the
like the robot at remember when you were a kid
he was more realistic,
like
though.
Chuck E. Cheese, man.
Where
you got the bear like playing the drums.
The same movement.
You got the one dude with the banjo just moving his mouth up and down.
The same move for the whole 2 hours you're there. Every time they come on. You see the grooves in the ground.
See, it's existed for a long time, man.
That might be before some people's time, though. I don't know. What's our audience range?
We can look that up.
Our demographic. But yeah, recession proof, man. That's one of the ways I try to build my business and my life, man. And I think that's the only way to go.
See, one of the things that's driven me in my business in real estate is the concept of, even if we're in a housing crash and we're in a recession, let's just say in our area, there's, still tens of thousands of homes being sold, right? Because 24% of the market has to sell or buy. They have to transact in real estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a real estate agent, to make a really good living, if you're selling 30, 40, 50 homes a year, you are probably in the top 5% income earner, right? If you sell 50 houses a year, you're probably top 5% income earner for sure. And I'm talking about of all fields in the nation, right? But if there's tens of thousands of homes being sold, like even if you're in a bad recession, like you don't need that big a piece of pie. So you really have to become recession proof through making sure that you set yourself apart. I mean, a lot of businesses are kind of commoditized, like real estate. There's a ton of real estate agents. There's a ton of homes being sold. There's a ton of people out there trying to sell them, right? So how do you stand out, right, in a commoditized style business? And that's just, you have to provide value, right? You have two options, right? You reduce your price or you provide value to where your price seems low. You increase your value to the point where your price seems low. And you should know all about that, Rob.
Yeah, I do. But I think in your case, just like in my case, you got to work on individual parts of the business. And I think when you work on all of them to be great and to strive for greatness in every single category, like meeting the people, having the nice listing and having the house all set up, or having the people gone for the listing, whatever it is that you do, you may do something that's better than the next realtor. That is your niche, what I'm saying, your go-to. Just like if you came to me and got a haircut, I might be taking photos. I might send them to you. That might be something like, okay, now you got headshots. So something, everybody's taking photos, but how do you stand out from the rest?
Well, man, you just nailed it, man. They say the riches are in the niches, man.
Yeah,
riches are in the niches.
My profession might be good, but I think that's what it is. You gotta do something that's better, or do things better than your competitors or people that are in your same lane, because we're all different. We all have our own qualities and abilities that we work on, or that are God given, that somebody else might not have. And if we just hone in on them and keep working on them, I think that's what's going to make us stand out, from the rest. But we also have to work on those qualities that involve, like working with people, being timely, like you said, providing value, doing things that everybody's not doing. And I think that's where a lot of people fall short at.
So, I mean, it's like you just said, we all have our qualities. So, I mean, there's two different types of successful people, right? And really, there's people out there that just have kind of like a God-given ability, right? And then there's people that put in the work, right? And I believe that the people that put in the work, if the person with that God-given ability isn't honing his craft, somebody's going to be able to outwork that person at some point, right?
Every time.
So we all have superpowers that we're born with, and the question is, are you going to continue to work on that superpower? Are you going to continue to hone that craft, right? Because if not, this is like the famous Will Smith quote where he says that if you get it on a treadmill next to him, he's going to outrun you. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm either going to outrun you or I'm going to die.
He's not letting up.
He's not letting up.
But they say hard work beats talent.
Hard work does beat talent every single time, but then we all do have superpowers. So
what if you had both of them?
You have the combination.
That's where you're deadly at. When you have both of them, you got hard work working on your talent.
Definitely. So, I mean, do you feel that you have a superpower of some sort?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely have multiple superpowers.
So what would you say, if you had to pick a superpower, what would you say your superpower is?
Staying alive.
Just staying alive.
Staying alive. That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah.
Two-time kidney transplant recipient.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, man.
Man, I mean, let's start there. I'm alive. That's just off of that fact. I got a superpower of staying alive. But it's not only me. It's, I've had some help, and people that love me, but that's my first superpower. That's staying alive.
I would say my superpower is my ability to learn things quickly.
Okay.
So like if I need to learn something, if somebody says, like, for instance, I train realtors, and there's been times where maybe I don't have the answer to some, maybe they're using an app that I never used before, or some system I've never seen before, and so I always tell them, like, tell me what it is, and then give me a week, and I'll get back to you, because I'll be able to figure it out inside and out, and then I'll be able to tell them what they need to know. You know what I mean? Sometimes I need a day, sometimes I need a week. For me, that's my superpower. I think that if you tell me that I need to figure something out, you need to fix that car out there, man. As long as I got access to the internet, I'm gonna figure out how to fix the thing.
YouTube University.
Correct, man. YouTube, Google, everything, man.
Yeah. So another superpower of mine is definitely hard work. Hard work. I don't mind putting in the hours. I don't mind grinding it out, getting to the base, the middle of whatever it is we're chiseling away at. If I know what some of the outcomes can be, and I'm never gonna let myself fail. And if you do look at it as a fail, I look at it as a lesson, or I'm learning. But one of my other superpowers is hard work. Definitely hard work. So yeah, that's definitely one of my superpowers.
I would say that one of your superpowers is thinking of ideas. I think you're kind of like
the creativity part.
You're a thinker, man. So you'd be like, I'll be like, man, how they say 3M was started, where they say, the story,
mining, and
and they were trying to make jewelry. I think that's a story. Don't quote me. They bought some sort of stones or rocks or something. They were going to make this jewelry, and it ended up not working out for whatever reason, the quality or whatever. So they, so a lot of people there would be like, well, that didn't work out. We just lost a bunch of money. But what they did was they ground it down and created sandpaper with it. So that's what I mean by, like, your problem solving and your ability to come up with good ideas. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that. I try. I mean, I think that was the era I grew up in. We didn't have, we were before the computer and the cell phone, so it was a lot of outside playing, and a lot of, you problem solving on the playground at home. You making up stuff to play with, and you got to come up with ideas, and I think that was one of the things that got me creative. And also, in the hair aspect, you got to have creativity, because everybody's different. Everybody's head shape's different. You got a lot of different hair textures. And so for me to make a person look good, I got to look at it and figure out how I'm going to make this fade, lay on this side of the head, or, and so I think a lot of that creativity comes from, and problem solving comes from cutting hair too.
So you've been doing it since you were 11.
Yeah. But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that. You mentioned hard work, and I really have never really thought about, like, what are all my superpowers? What am I good at? Like, that's not something I really thought about. I have thought about the first one I mentioned, but it's funny because they say when you have a child, like, if they do something good, like, for instance, my son, he's 8 years old, playing cornerback. He got a pick six the last game of the year to win the game for his team, right? So, like, you can compliment him, like, good job, you did really good, or whatever. Or you can say, son, you work hard. You work so hard, And so, like, I started implementing that, because they say when you tell kids that they work hard, it's like the gratification is longer lasting, right?
Because good job.
Yeah, because they're seeing, like, oh, okay, so he's mentioning the fact that I work hard, and that's why this happened to me. So mentally, they're like, I need to continue to work hard. You know what I mean? And so I remember when I was younger, I remember my pastor, he said that. So, like, I'm this dude who's don't consider myself super successful, struggling in high school, have a kid at a young age and all this stuff. And then I remember I joined a basketball team. I joined a basketball team at a church that I didn't even go to because I just wanted to play basketball. And I remember him saying the one thing that he really appreciated about me was how hard I worked on the basketball court. He's like, man, you just work so hard. And I remember that was the first time anybody ever told me that, man. And so from that moment forward, I went from trying to, prove everybody wrong about myself to just trying to prove that one person right. You know what I mean? And that's like a million times more powerful.
That's good that stuck with you over the years. And what you just said about that one person, I remember we went to the ET conference, and he was saying, how people was saying that you should charge less, I guess, or charge more to get more people in there and fill it up. And he was like, I'd rather do the group of 300 that are really motivated than try to get out to 300,000 or 3,000 people or whatever it was, because those are the people that that really are here. They're showing up. They're about their business. And I guess where I was going with that was, you only need a few. You only had one person that said that to you. So you didn't go off of the mass, is what everybody said. It's like one person told me something good, and so I'm gonna run with it.
Yeah, definitely. Because like I said, that's more powerful than I'm gonna prove this teacher wrong. I'm gonna prove this guy wrong about me. Because you're working from anger, which I used to work from a point of anger a lot when I was younger. Right.
Yeah, that's got me in trouble a couple times. Trying to get back at somebody, like I'm gonna show them type, and that's not. You're out of character. Kill him.
He just looks at a bully at school.
Kill him. No, but you're out of character. You know what I'm saying? You're doing stuff out of spite, and that's not gonna get you. You're not thinking clearly. You know what I'm saying? So when you're trying to do it to get back at somebody, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, you gotta remain positive.
Yeah. You do have to hit the button. He said it too early. Kill him. I got my own button over here. Kill him. It's my voice anyway.
Yeah, you can just say it.
I don't need a sound bite. I just don't got the background music. Kill him. Oh man. You gonna go crazy with the editing. I can already tell. I'm gonna be on all types of different Kill Bill
remix going.
Kill Bill commercials. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. He drowned me out. Oh man, that's funny. So, pretty much the moral of the podcast was
buy assets.
Yeah, get recession proof.
Get recession proof, man. That's basically it. And then we just went off on tangents about a bunch of other positive stuff, man.
Yeah, but once again, we are here to let people know who are in a position that don't know where to start, how to start changing their lives. And it can start as simple as a conversation with somebody, or starting as simple as setting an alarm, stop doing something, turning off something. As long as you take that first step, there's no limit to what you can do, or who you can be.
Well, it's super funny, man, because I've been thinking about
you might find your superpower, not to cut you off.
Well, definitely. So we had a motivational speaker come out, I should say a keynote speaker come out to my job a couple weeks ago. And for whatever reason, I feel like I should tell you who this guy is, because I can't remember his name off the top of my head here, but I downloaded all of his books. But I want to tell you something that he was talking about. Sean Aker. You heard of Sean Aker?
Yeah, I heard of that name.
Sean Aker, his whole thing is about happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So he studies happiness. He actually he's met with Oprah. He has a whole thing with Oprah and stuff like that. But one of the things he was talking about how if you were to be on a journey and you see a mountain in front of you and you have to climb over that mountain, or you have to get past that mountain's going to look huge. But if you have several other people with you, physically, that to your eyeballs, that mountain will look smaller. Scientifically, typically that's what happens. And it's because people know that they don't have to do it alone. You know what I mean? And so what that brings up is, and I don't know the true science behind all this, but you have several thoughts. You have tens of thousands of thoughts that cross your mind every second. And your brain only processes like 4 of them or 5 of them or something like that. So the truth is that everyone's reality, the way they see it, is basically what they created. Had they chose different thoughts to process, to stick with and really think upon, their entire reality would seem different, right? And, you run into it all the time with, you have one mindset shift. Just think of something small like going to the gym, right? Man, maybe I won't work out for months, man. I have zero motivation. I don't even want to work out. And then I'll eat healthy, and then I start working out. Pretty soon I can't imagine not working out. All of a sudden it's like, it's so easy for me to get there. I look forward to it, right? You just have that little mindset shift.
It like pulls you towards it.
Yeah,
it's
so
you're starving for the results.
Starving for the results. So no matter how bad a person feels like their life is, it may not be that bad. It may not even be real. The way you feel about your life may not even be real. Somebody else might see your life completely different. And really, it's just a matter of changing your perspective. And it was the great Jim Rohn that said that we are the only species on the planet that can decide what we want to be, right? We can change our state through pure thought, right? A tree has to be a tree. It has no other option. As a human, and I've tested this before with my heart rate monitor and my watch, you can literally think about something and get hot, and your heart rate will start picking up, right? It'll actually change your physical body just through your thought. So you can actually do that the positive way too, man. Change your state.
Oh, man, you can. Most definitely. As bad as you think negative thoughts, you can start thinking positive thoughts and things will change. That's a fact. And the only reason I say that's a fact because I'm living proof. You can change the way that you do things just by thinking positive. You agree?
I do agree with that, man. I'm a big believer in positive thinking.
And like you were saying before, like affirmations, meditation, all of that can break down all the negative thoughts. But the positivity, that's so like the mountain. I seen a skit on our feed. There's a kid. He's trying to jump over it's like a pole vault. He was trying to get up there. He couldn't get up there. The instructor kept sending him back down the line. Like nobody else is there, but you got like parents on this side and you got his teammates or classmates on the other side. He runs, he jumps, he doesn't make it. He runs, he jumps, he doesn't make it. The other kids come out, rally around him, cheer. They go back. Just like the mountain looks smaller, the beam looks smaller. He runs, jumps over it. Everybody celebrates.
Yeah, and I've seen a couple of different iterations of a little kid trying to break the wood at karate.
Yeah.
And he can't get it. He eventually gets it, and everyone goes nuts.
Yeah.
I've seen, yes, there's different variations of that, but that's true, man. That's true. So really, I mean, too, before we end this, I mean, that brings up a good topic. A lot of times it's who you surround yourself with too, right?
Like I said before, I'm getting better at editing. I'm getting better at, all the video, audio.
Yeah. And I mean, you are the average of who you spend your most time with, man. So, a lot of times it's about just making sure that you spend your time with the right people that are gonna,
help you change your mindset.
Help support you on your goals.
Because it's easy to find negative things and negative people. That's the easy part.
Really easy to find negative people.
That's the easy part. So all those negative thoughts in your head, what should they do to them?
What should they do to them?
Yeah, what should they do to the negative thoughts?
Well, that's easy, man.
Kill him.
We need to get a couple of variations of that so you can be like, kill them.
Kill them.
Yeah, we got it.
On demand. Well, thanks for tuning in. Corey, where can they find you at?
You can find me on my real estate Instagram at the Corey Melvo.
And you can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Neighbors Cut. That's NABRSCUT, or the website NABRSCUT.com, where you can go and pre-order the Neighbors Cut autobiography that'll be coming out, self-titled The Story of Robert Neighbors, March 13th. So go on there, read the blurb, check it out, see if you like it, share it, pass it out, read it, keep it in your library, and support somebody that's trying to follow their dreams and that's trying to stay recession-proof.
Did you mention read it?
Oh, yeah, you got to read it, I guess. Or you're going to be able to listen to it pretty soon on the audio, So it might be my voice, too. Just saying. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Peace. What's my education?